support SSH, a router requires the user to supply both a username and password rather than just a password like Telnet. The router also requires additional configuration as well. I will walk you through these steps. Let's get started by connecting to router 2. We start off in user mode, but we want to get into enable mode by typing in enable. This is also known as privilege mode. When you get here, we also want to configure the terminal in order to configure SSH, so we type in conf t. That gets us in configuration mode. Now, we want to get to the line terminals that allow us to have remote access, which is line VTY, which actually stands for terminal, and lines 0 through 4, which means we are about to configure 5 terminals on this router. Now you see we are in configuration line mode, which is also line configuration. Then we want to log in local, because you will need a user name and password combination in order to SSH. So we will get to that in the next few steps. But then we want to allow or initiate an SSH session. We want to program that session to be able to happen. So we want to type in the command transport input telnet SSH command. This is a VTY command. It can only be used when you are in line configuration mode. Then we want to press enter. Now we want to create a username for router 2, or a username for the user that will be making these SSH connections. So we want to type in username. Just as an example, we're going to type R2, and the password, we're going to type Cisco. Okay. Press enter and you'll see that we will go back into configuration mode. We'll step out of line configuration mode and step back into configuration mode. Now, at this step, what you want to do is put in the domain name of the company that you are working with. So the IP domain name will be the company. In this particular tutorial, we're going to use example.com, just to give you an idea of all the commands that are needed to configure SSH. Example.com, enter. Next, we will have to generate a public and private key pair using cryptography. That command would be crypto key generate RSA. And once you press enter, you will be prompted for the bits. How many bits? 512. You can change this if you'd like, but we're going to press enter because we are okay with that. Now, SSH is done on this router. Now we want to verify that it works. How do we verify if it works? Well, we have to go to router 1 and we have to put in the IP address of the serial interface that we're interested in order to get into router 2. So now we're at router 1, SSH hyphen or dash, that is a lowercase l, R2. Then we want to type in the IP address of the WAN link, the WAN interface. interface, which is the serial interface 10.1.2.12, enter. And guess what? We prompted for a password. And that password will be what we put in previously, Cisco. And guess what? We are in router 2. As you can see, it says router 2 right there. Then we want to show IP interface brief to actually verify that this is router 2 and we are on that device. And as you can see, serial 0/0/1 10.1.2.12. Same we put in to SSH, and we are in the right router. We have successfully configured SSH. Hope you enjoyed. This is SystemAdmin.